So there was this commercial that aired during the Super Bowl. A lot of people missed it, but I didn't. And it's really unfortunate that you can't even enjoy a Super Bowl without the NFL, the woke NFL, trying to shove some sort of feminist, Marxist, upside down propaganda down your throat. And it's just getting old, right? It's like they don't realize that, that time is over. The people spoke in November and elected Trump because they're tired of stuff like this. But regardless, let me play the commercial now.
School, slugs, school!
Jaworski, you're on thin ice, mister!
Hey, Principal P.
Stop kicking your principal. Everybody's on thin ice.
What's this? A Dorkosaurus Rex?
Come on, Chad. I don't want any trouble.
Leave him alone. I'll kick your butt, Chad.
Hey, Chad. Check out the new girl.
Ew, what is she wearing?
Girls don't play football.
They do where I'm from.
Get a load of this one. Think fast!
You think fast. Right in the Jimmy Johnson.
Okay, so we already have the setup here. We already know exactly what's going to happen. We already know exactly what we're going to be lectured about. Men bad, women good, men suck, women are perfect, right? It's just more divisiveness, really, at the end of the day, what they're setting up here. And we're going to continue on with this commercial, but I wanted to comment before we went any further that it's just so predictable now at this point. You've got all the typical stereotypes. You've got this guy playing Chad, right? This dude is like 5'7", looks completely harmless. He looks like he should be, on the cast of Beverly Hills 90210 or something like that. And here he is playing the bully. He's playing like the Billy Badass of the school. And then you've got this 6'5" gigantic black dude who looks like he does play football, dressed up as a nerd, going, "No, leave me alone, you 5'7" Chad." Already, it's just unrealistic, right? And then at the beginning, you have that other dude, the black dude, who looks like a reject from a Kid and Play movie, putting the "kick me" on the back of the principal, who is white. So, I mean, the setup here is it's just getting old. But let's continue on with this.
This ain't over.
We just getting started, Chad.
Get the flag!
Let's go, let's go! Get down, get down. Come on, there you go. Yeah.
Ooh, little girl bad.
And now we have what looks to be Snoop Dogg's little sister. And then, of course, you got the simp in the stands, this ludicrous-looking wannabe, who is basically going to cheerlead for her, put on his cheerleading outfit, his pom-poms, and be like, "Oh yeah, you go, girl, you go." It's just playing out textbook like any other of these feminist propaganda type commercials, where we have to suspend reality and actually pretend that these women can beat men in football.
Enough! Let's settle this once and for all. Your best guy?
Girl.
Whatever. Versus our best guy. The Brad.
And of course, they choose the whitest name possible, Brad. And his buddy's name is Chad. I almost feel like they're lifting these names off of my channel, right? Because, I mean, everybody knows what a Chad is, but I started coming up with Beta Brad. And so here you have this much bigger, much stronger looking man who looks to be about my age. This guy's about 45, pushing 50 years old, and he plays high school flag football. How come I wasn't in this skit? Man, I could play high school too, along with this guy, right? I mean, so you know where we're headed with this, right? I mean, it's just so obvious what they're doing here. We know what the message is. I mean, how many times are they gonna run the same play? How many times are they gonna make more commercials like this that just annoy people? All right, let's watch more of this.
Oh, not the Brad. I'm Brad.
I can read.
My body is burning, it starts to shout. Desire's coming, it breaks out loud. The night is coming.
got folded up, Brad. Get her! Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
I mean, can we just stop doing this? It's really getting embarrassing at this point, right? It's just getting so old. You know, just it seems like they just make the same commercial over and over in just different variations, whether it's Gillette, whether it's a Kamala ad. Remember that one where it's, I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a man, and I'm voting for Kamala, you know, and all. It just comes off as so patronizing and offensive because it really tells you what they think of you when they produce stuff like this. It tells them they think you're stupid. It tells them they think that, you know, they could pull one over on you. And it just doesn't work anymore. And I'm glad it doesn't work. And these guys should be ashamed of themselves who participate in this. I understand, like, they're actors, they're trying to make it, and they're probably struggling. They need money, they got to take the gig. But at some point, you have to just check your values, right? And check your moral compass and be like, should I participate in this? And I don't know if you guys know, but I was involved in acting back in the day. It was my original reason for moving to LA originally, but way back when. And I lost interest probably around the late 2000s. Late 2000s. Because I noticed, like, even in my like filmmaking classes and acting classes, they were giving me scripts that were just full of propaganda. I mean, it wasn't fun anymore. Right. I mean, the whole reason I wanted to get involved in it was because I grew up with movies, just like anybody my age, like Smokey and the Bandit and Die Hard and, you know, stuff like that. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be part of movies like that. But the scripts that I was coming across around that time were already woke. Right. I can remember one specifically where I got casted in something where they wanted me to play a priest who disavows the Catholic Church and then realizes there's no God and turns against it. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm Catholic and I can't do something like that. And they tried to talk me into it. And I said, it goes against my values. And they're like, no, it's just, you know, it's just a character. And I was like, I get that. However, I don't want to promote something like that, right? Just like I wouldn't want to promote a movie about animal abuse or something. Yeah, sure, it's just a movie, but I wouldn't want to do anything like that to, you know, give anybody any ideas like this is okay, you know. So and that happened a number of times where it was just, I was just done with it. I'm like, this isn't fun for me anymore. I think the last thing was they wanted me to play part of like a school board or something like this. I mean, and this is like 2010. This is before all this wokeness. And then something about the school board and the kids want to be gay. I mean, this was already happening. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to, this is just not something that's for me anymore. So these guys are still participating. Yeah. And I can't, I can imagine when their agents called them and said, hey, you're going to be part of this Super Bowl commercial and everybody's going to see it. And then they're like, okay, what am I going to be doing? Okay, you're going to be playing the bully, the tough guy bully. And then this girl who's half your size is going to outplay you in football. And then I can imagine them getting to the set and the director going, okay, whatever you do, just let her run by you, okay? Don't actually tackle her. Take it easy. You don't want to hurt her and all this, you know, to make her look good. Yeah, it's, again, you're creating propaganda and just not down with that. But yeah, it's too bad. And besides the fact that this entire scene was unbelievable, right? Because this guy, Brad, is supposed to be the legend, the football legend of the school, and he can't even execute a simple tackle. I mean, I played football, right? I was on offense, but I did play some D, and I've been sacked before. That's not how you tackle somebody, right? This guy was basically standing up trying to tackle this girl. You're supposed to get low. You're supposed to focus on the person's waist. That way you don't get juked, right? And this 5'5" semi-overweight chick was able to juke this like 6'5" dude. It's just unbelievable, man. So yeah, and if this were real life, I mean, especially with pads, this chick would get lit up. I mean, even me as a 53-year-old dude, if we put on the pads and she tried to pull that on me, I would light her up, right? Just to teach her a lesson. I would just do it these days. Like back in the day, I'd be like, oh, she's a woman or whatever. But these days, I'll be like, I think I'm gonna send a message, man. I'm gonna put my head down. I'm gonna launch my body into her. So, so yeah. I mean, it's pretty sad. Like, whoever directed this really just expects you to play dumb and assume that this is something that is possible when we all know it's not. Because if that were the case, you got all these badass flag football high school female players. Hey, why didn't you just let them play with the boys? Right? And we've seen the outcome of that. We've seen some of these girls kind of get, the March of Dimes treatment, and they put them in on the boys squad, and they let them kick field goals, or they let them throw a pass every once in a while, and they tell the opposing team to take it easy, don't sack her, don't hurt her. Anyway, enough is enough. Drop your comments below, guys. Let me know if you saw this commercial and what you think of it, and any feedback that you have. And if you're tired of seeing stuff like this, let me know, and I'll see you in the comments.